me always. And I'd like to put my fist through her wall, just a reminder that I was there. Her shoes go click-clack as we ascend the stairs. I like that everyone lives in filthy buildings and should be condemned. I like that we've never been anywhere nice together. It intensifies her beauty to me. I'd like to be found dead together in a gutter of youthful exuberance and stubbornness. But it must not be her apartment, or she wouldn't be banging on the door or putting her ear against it, or raising her voice so that she can be heard on the other side. They finally begin to eat a bit slower. The polka dot woman turns her head and yells down the hallway. It must be the children who have fled the room of the light green boy. They're still running, so the polka dot woman barks at them. Wherever they go, someone doesn't want them there. The vulture never looks at anyone. He has the same look in his eye, whether he's eating or driving or beating a drum. The clown tiptoes into the room, afraid of being beaten. Maybe she wants to tell the vulture about the shut-in boy. She was about to tell him, but thought better of it in front of the strange purple-yellow polka dot woman. Then the strange woman leaves. Maybe the girl brought the devil with her to torture the man who lives there. But it's an orange and white striped woman who answers the door. I thought you were the police, or someone coming to borrow money, or someone coming to collect money. I'm relieved it's only you. Who do you bring with you? I think I've seen him somewhere before. He's harmless. He doesn't even speak. I'm happy to see those lines now forming around your eyes and getting clearer along your cheeks, and I hope some of the fight's gone out of you. The devil thinks, let us in. I want to dig through the drawers in your bedroom. I thought of them as gears in a clock moving on fixed rotations, and I wondered if the vulture would just as soon throw his scraps to the pigs as give them to the clown. Sometimes it doesn't feel right for me to look upon this vulture and this clown. I'm not always in the mood for it. I was practically whistling to myself as I made my way home to you. Somehow you've given me permission to let my thoughts run wild, to finally throw myself at the feet of mad temptation. The clown begins to tell the vulture something, but stops as soon as the polka dot woman returns and hands her a plate of food. The girl who brought the devil here is a murderess. She says something to the striped woman who answered the door, and the woman lets her in. The murderess moves aside to usher the devil in before her, as if the striped woman has somehow agreed to do something for the devil, as if she's going to give him a haircut or perform some minor operation. Has the devil been here before? He walks through 2 rooms and makes his way to the sofa. The orange-white striped woman follows close behind, not wanting to let the devil out of her sight. He's asking her for a favor, not this again. She moves too quickly, and the light is strange, so I haven't been able to get a good look at her. I want her to stop moving and sit down next to the devil so that I can examine her face. And I'd like the murderess to sit down across from them so that I can be sure it's her and not just a girl who dresses like her. The vulture's asking something of the polka dot woman. The polka dot woman appears to agree. The clown looks on happily. Something must be in it for her. You're the wall I bang my head against. I bang my head because I don't want to sleep. I don't want to sleep because I'm convinced there's still more to be done. I'm convinced there's still more to be done because I believe that I'll someday get the better of you. Regardless of what you've heard me say, within me flows an endless stream of optimism. I'd like to talk more like how we did last night. There are strange colored caterpillars burrowed inside me. Please stop talking and sit down. Let's open a bottle of wine. Only the devil's sitting. The women are standing. The striped woman raises her voice to the devil. The murderess taps her foot impatiently. The devil draws the striped woman to him. Now she's next to him on the sofa, looking into his eyes. She's still a blur to me, but something about the back of her head and her jaw and neck suggests that she's much older than the murderess, that she could even be her mother. The devil breaks her fingers and she screams, and her screams turn into the screams of a man we've already seen, the sky blue man already tapping the inside of his elbow. He's screaming before a mirror in a blizzard of feathers. The clown sits down with her plate and begins spearing things with her fork when something occurs to her. She knows what the vulture's up to. She's finally beginning to learn how he thinks. She wonders if she should somehow intervene, if she should save the polka dot woman from the vulture. But it's too late for that, and later on tonight it'll only be the vulture and the clown, and she'd rather he not be full of rage. A car is pulling away. It must be the car with the bride and groom People wave and cheer. Some follow it as it pulls away. Now it's becoming dark and most of the guests have left. The man in the soldier uniform still dances. A green and light green checkered woman twirls and he catches her. What did he tear apart that released so many feathers? They seem to cover every surface of the room. He swings at them as if punching a woman. His shirt is torn down the back. He screams and kicks his feet. Maybe the devil's making his way to him. Maybe he'll burst in on him and tear out his soul. Either way, the devil's moving quickly through the streets with his girl at his heels. His girl is a murderess. His demons rush to greet him. Are they gathering at the entrance to the building where the sky blue man with the feathers lives? I suspect this time the devil will be particularly cruel. I've been wanting to see this man suffer for months. This man with the feathers, the man we'd seen hoping to bring to the surface the veins in his arms, the wretched sky blue man. When I woke this morning, I thought of exactly how I'd like to explain everything to you. It may take some time. The music continues and this couple twirls. Maybe they lose their balance. Maybe they fall and he kisses her as they roll around together on the ground. The clown has washed her makeup off and now sits long-faced in the darkness. The vulture has abandoned her for the night again. How will she explain it to these people? But I was wrong. She wasn't left alone. The vulture's not far off from her, unhurriedly changing his clothes. She could be crying for one of 1,000 reasons. She takes a few steps away from him. She kneels down as if this crying were some kind of prayer, and I wonder if she shouldn't somehow allow herself to get lost, to stumble and roll, chasing a butterfly down a hill. She still believes that she can free both of them from his madness, that if he'd only listen to her, some semblance of order could be attained. The devil and his demons are always gathering somewhere. There's always something to do, some stone yet to be overturned. There are close to 10 of them in all, including the woman. Next, they're in the Featherman's apartment, but they weren't the first. Already arrived demons stand around like posed mannequins. The Featherman's presented to the devil. He looks like he's already dead. He won't fully understand yet. These days have been a blur. I remember tearing something open and thinking it was gathering around my ankles. One of the demons starts blowing feathers off things. They're going to skin him alive, she must be thinking. If he tears one off, another one appears. The feathers have jammed the gears. He had all but abandoned his lookout post. He could have gotten us all killed. I've never taken a step forward. I wobble, then I fall, and then I stand up again, but I never really move from my original allotted space. The clown begins to chase a butterfly. The vulture continues changing her clothes. He must have gotten these clothes from the polka dot woman. They must be the clothes of her dead or missing husband. It appears they fit perfectly. Soon the clothes will stink like the vulture, and how soon before he sleeps in them in a ditch? She cries and then she dances. At times, I think she's crazy and deserves everything she gets. I've forgotten how calm and still it gets at night in the darkness away from the city. The vulture and the clown are forgotten here, and the moonlight turns everything into skeletons. I was afraid of animals and ghosts and strangers, so sometimes I'd run as fast as I could. You'd stop there with me and we'd whisper into each other's ears. You were right about me. I was a hopeless cause. I was right about you. You turned out to be a coward. This cost me everything. He thought to himself as he sat there in further surrender. The devil chuckles and sees no other solution. I'm looking at the neck and chin of the devil's girl, the murderess. The devil never thinks to shield her from this. Another demon comes through the door, the man who always wishes he was elsewhere. I find things soaked in blood. I'd like to tell my girl we can go wherever she wants tonight. Whatever she wants is hers. I shed everything until they find me alone, terrified, my voice hoarse from screaming. There are warning signs, but mostly it's just routine. Days stacked upon each other, emotions. I was going to steal all your money and run to where you'd never find me. From this angle, I see her boots and her knees. I feel her eyes on me. You've lost your way. You're astray, a mangy animal. Don't forgive, only threaten and beat. She's always in the corner, so I can never clearly make out her face. But I think it's the murderess, and I think she needs to see for herself. The devil breaks fingers, he kicks in machinery. I only want to look at her, to stare until she squirms or threatens to send him after me. They love more than we do. They've freed themselves from these complications and are allowed to simply love. The vulture's pleased with his new clothes, the missing man's clothes, or the devil's clothes. Either way, they're the vulture's clothes now, and he's fed, and he's been paid, and the sun's only just gone down. The clown's a pesky fly buzzing around him. When bad men put on new suits, they think of lies they'd like to tell women. When women know they aren't being listened to, they walk away and hope to be followed. But really, people do whatever they want. Nothing unites them or makes them any easier to understand. Maybe I'm just some experiment in a dish. The clown walks away, but maybe hoping no one ever follows her. In any life, I'd have to be responsible for myself. There'd be some form of questioning. The feather man becomes the devil's new prisoner. He knows he can't